Thank you. Madam Secretary, would you give us a roll call, please?
Madam Chair Thomas,
Here.
Vice Chair Diaz,
Present.
Commissioner Tactazo,
Present.
Commissioner Guerra,
Present.
Commissioner Hernandez is excused, Commissioner Huff,
Present.
Commissioner Mfume,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson,
Present.
Commissioner Wilson is excused, Commissioner Monteclaro is excused. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Oral communications for matters not on the agenda. The public may at this time address the members of the Planning Commission on any matters within the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission. No action may be taken on non-agendized items except as authorized by law. Speakers are requested to limit their comments to no more than 3 minutes, each speaking once. Madam Secretary, do we have any speakers for items that are not on the agenda?
There are none, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Oral communications for non-public hearing items listed on the agenda. Members of the public may at this time address the members of the Planning Commission on any matters within the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission. No action may be taken on non-agendized items except as authorized by law. Speakers are requested to limit their comments to no more than 3 minutes, each speaking once. Madam Secretary, do we have any speakers?
We have none, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next item will be our consent calendar. And on our consent calendar, we're looking for approval of the minutes from October 8th, 2024.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
move to approve the consent item.
I second the motion.
Thank you. It has been moved by Vice Chair Diaz, second by Commissioner, I want to call you by your first name. You know I do. Huff. I know you're like, I'm so into first. Anyway, we're not going to go there. Yes. Will you do a roll call, madam?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Oh, we don't have any. Come on, isn't it? Do I need to let you have the gavel for a minute since you... One day. Okay, the next item is a public hearing, modification of conditions of discretionary permit, MOD 00001-24. And we're ready for our report. Thank you. Staff report. Aaron.
Great, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the commission. The item before you tonight is for consideration of approval of request for modification of conditions of a discretionary permit, mod 0000124 for a tentative parcel map number 82951, consisting of the splitting of one lot into two lots. The subject property site is located in the high-density residential zone and is designated high-density residential under the land use designation of the general plan. The tentative parcel map is to split 169,300 square foot parcel, resulting in parcels 1 of 30,020 square feet and parcel 2 of 39,287 square feet. Each of the resulting parcels adheres to the Carson Municipal Code standards for minimum lot area, street frontage, access, lot width, and the subject TPM does not involve a development. A number of conditions of approval have been applied to this TPM that are usually associated with the development. Additionally, conditions related to building permits and offsite improvements were included, while the TPM only involves a division of land. This is why the applicant has requested removal of these conditions, including City of Carson Public Works Department Engineering Service condition of approval number 12 through 14, 18 through 26, business license condition number 27, and the Los Angeles County Department of Public Works conditions of approval number 23 through 27. And this here is an image of the subject parcel map. Notice of the hearing was posted on the subject property and mailed to property owners and tenants within a 750-foot radius of the project on October 10th, 2024. The project continues to be categorically exempt from CEQA under Section 153.15. And staff recommendation for this modification is approval. And that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from my fellow commissioners?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Guerra.
Yeah, for the edification of those who watch,
Bring your mic up so that
for those who watch this meeting, can you explain the difference between the tentative track map and the tentative parcel map?
It's the difference in general is the number of parcels that are created. In my staff report, what I did mention that there is a tentative tract map that is currently under review, which many of these conditions that are being requested to be removed from tonight are being considered. The tract map is for a multiple units for a condo development. The parcel map is for 5 or fewer. And so this would be for, 4 or fewer, thank you. And so this would be for 2 lots to be categorized as a parcel map.
Thank you very much. I'm complete, Madam Chair.
any other questions? Commissioners? Hearing none. Thank you for your report.
Thank you.
Madam Secretary, at this time, we will open the floor for our oral communication or anyone wishing to speak on this item. Madam Secretary?
We don't have any cards unless the applicant wants to speak.
Okay. No cards at this time. Is there anyone in the audience who would like us to speak on this item during the open forum? Seeing none, then we will close the public hearing. And now to my fellow commissioners, the discussion floor is to you. Do we have any speakers? Hearing none, I will close the discussion portion and I will look for a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to move to approve this item as was presented by staff in its entirety.
I second that.
Second it.
Okay. Commissioner Doc Dossel has the second. The motion by Vice Chair Diaz. Roll call, please.
Madam Shepherd Thomas,
Yes.
Vice Chair Diaz,
Yes.
Commissioner Octadasso,
Yes.
Commissioner Guerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Huff,
Yes.
Commissioner Mfume,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the modification has been approved. Next item on the agenda, discussion presentation of draft Carson Streetscape Master Plan.
Thank you, Commission.
Yes.
At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Arlington Rogers, Director of Public Works.
Good evening, Planning Commission. This is my first appearance before you. My name is Dr. Arlington Rogers, Director of Public Works. I just wanted to provide a little bit of background and some reminders of how we got to this point. And then our consultants from Breen and Community Works Design Group, I always get that mixed up. I always want to say design first, Annalicia, will come and present the, the plan for you. As many of you know, I've been here a whopping 18 months now. And on my first day in front of council, I was tasked with the medians. And if you recall, 18 months ago, weeds were about exactly 4 or 5 feet high. Well, we've come a long way. And if you remember me stating to the mayor and to the council at that time, I had a plan. And if they could just bear with me, the plan would come into fruition. So this is the result of that. But we've gone a step further that I wasn't even expecting, and tying it, and that's why we're here. This started off as just a simple maintenance plan that we would have uniformity throughout the city. We would have a color palette and a plant palette that would be utilized by the Public Works maintenance team that would be planted all throughout the city with less maintenance. So we would never come back to the 5-foot high weeds in the median. That was the whole goal of this. But the team did a lot of work. And so city management staff thought this would be a good idea to add this to the development code so that when new companies come in, we look consistent throughout the city. And that's how we got here. So the idea was a maintenance plan, but it took on legs of its own. And that's why we're here today. So I will now turn it over to Annalicia, I didn't want to mess up her name, Annalicia Escobar Gomez from Community Works Design Group, and Des Mahoney from Breen Design Group.
Excuse me 1 second. And right before they start, the intent for the commission is to give feedback so they could take it back to the consultant team and develop the final draft.
Good evening, Commission. We're very excited to be here. My name is Des Mahoney. I am Chief Operating Officer at Breen Design Group. We are an architecture and engineering firm just up the road in Torrance. We are very pleased to be here tonight to present the City of Carson Streetscape Master Plan. I have with me Annalicia from Community Works Design Group, and she is presenting tonight her the collective team's presentation on the improvements to the streetscape. And with that, I'll hand it to Annalicia.
Hi, good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. As they mentioned, my name is Annalicia Escobar Gomez, and I'm the Community Director of Community Engagement with Community Works Design Group, which is a mouthful. So as Arlington mentioned, this started as a maintenance plan, which quickly developed into more as we looked at how we were going to address all of the medians throughout the city of Carson. The city has just shy of 27 linear miles of median space throughout some of the key corridors. So we were contracted to develop the conceptual plans and the elements that would be part of that maintenance plan, including all of the plant palettes, and then also conceptual cost estimates so that the city could have an idea of what they would be looking at in terms of replacing these items. So the primary objectives of the Streetscape Master Plan would be to provide cohesion, reduce traffic speeds, enhancing pedestrian and bicycle safety, improving the urban aesthetics, and increasing the green space throughout, and really utilizing some of the really wide medians that the city of Carson has as part of that aesthetic enhancement and green space throughout the city. So our first task was figuring out what segments that we were going to really look at to try to get into a little bit more detail of how we were going to design throughout the city. Part of this was meeting with a lot of the different stakeholders within the city departments and ultimately identifying a few 8 different segments throughout the city. We wanted to find 2 within each district, and then also we wanted to look at the different type of land uses. So while we wanted to create cohesion throughout the city, we also wanted to enhance the user's experience throughout the city as they enter different land uses and give visual cues as to speed limits and other things like that as everyone drives through the city. So we've developed the land use map here. This looks at all like the different residential areas and all of the different mixed use and commercial, including the special area around this building and the civic area. We also looked at, as you can see in the map, there's a lot of main attractions and a lot of parks and green space throughout the city that are aligned with the corridors that do have medians in them. So we developed a toolkit essentially so that the maintenance teams could go out with this plan in hand and know exactly what elements that they would be looking to install and replace as medians were up for renovations and improvements. So these elements included street trees, shrubs, ground covers, maintenance bans throughout the city. A lot of the medians currently don't have maintenance bans, and so I think that was to create the medians, allow the medians to be more maintenance friendly. Stamped concrete throughout and boulders, decomposed granite, and grouted cobble. The decomposed granite and boulders enhance the green space and natural look throughout the urban aesthetic. And then also the decomposed granite provides permeability throughout the medians as well. So here's an example of the Civic Center area. These are the existing conditions just outside of here. Our proposed improvements would be to look at adding a variety of palm trees and shrubs and ground covers throughout, along with the maintenance band. There are opportunities further down the road for inclusion of city branding or other items as part of the city's package, branding package. There's also opportunity to provide lights along the palm trees and other items like that to add more excitement to the area. The segment that we specifically looked at was the plan along Carson Street. Here you can see the perspective that we developed and then also the detail review. For the commercial, you can see the existing here. There's a disrepair with some of the brick elements. There's not a lot of vertical elements, so we look to incorporate those street trees to provide a visual pop and also safety cues in terms of slowing down with the vertical elements in the trees along these corridors. Here you see the plan that was developed and then also the detail view. For the residential and industrial, they're both pretty expansive medians. So here's the existing conditions of turf, which requires a lot of maintenance. So the proposed improvements would include the stamped concrete, the boulders, and then we've also developed as part of the plant palettes, having a cohesive 3 ground covers throughout all of the different types of land uses throughout the city. So again, here you see that plan and the enlargement. And then for the industrial, we wanted to maintain keeping the trees throughout the middle of the median in order to accommodate larger trucks that would be using it. So, but looking for varieties of either evergreen, like magnolias, and then also incorporating the maintenance bands with the boulders and other elements throughout. So any questions?
I have a question. That looks all great, but I think that that concept should start as where we're at, figure all the way down to Santa Fe, because down at the east side of town, we don't have anything that looks like anything like this. We don't have any mediums. Could we create something at a smaller scale, but continuity all the way through Carson? Thank you. And then I'd like to add that for the 18 months that you've been here on staff, you've done a tremendous job because the residents down on the east side of town were calling with those 5-foot shrubs and tules, everything that was all on Alameda and all over the place. So thank you for a job well done.
Thank you. Any other commissioners have any questions, comments at this time? Yes,
I do.
Commissioner Huff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question that we were talking about the height. With the new flowers or the new plan, is there any particular height that we're looking not to exceed? I mean, would these plants be 4 feet, 5 foot? How tall will they be in uniform?
We picked plants in the plant palette that could be 3 feet or less.
3 feet or less.
Yeah, while there's a handful of trees, and then there's a few different shrubs that would potentially grow a little bit taller than that, but those would be used sporadically, not like a single.
Okay. And those trees that you're different places bringing in that we don't already have trees, are there those full-grown trees that we're bringing in?
So those would be minimum of 60-inch box trees, so they would be pretty mature.
Okay. They won't pose any type of, well, yeah, cracking as they grow from the bottom, but I'm also looking as a deterrent when they're driving. Will that be,
No, we selected all, for the street trees, ones that are approved for streets, ones that are also don't have a lot of root issues, and ones that are evergreen as well, and are fairly small in terms of overall street trees and slow growing to eliminate the impacts of those potential issues.
okay, one last question. Our flowers that we're putting in or our new, are these, how can I say, annual flowers that in the fall or whatever, the color that looks so vibrant and so good now will die off? Will they all be gone at the same time, or how's that working?
No, so we strategically selected plants, and there's more details in the actual plant itself once you guys go to review that show the seasons that those bloom. And so we created a staggering variety so that every street will have blooms at any given time.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, question?
Yes, go ahead.
You complete? Thank you. A quick question as it relates to the water usage and cost factors involved. I'm loving it, but I'm just kind of curious.
So overall, we tried to select all plants that are either drought tolerant or low on the WOCUs, is what it's called. And so they're all relatively low to moderate max water usage. So it should actually, in terms of areas where we're eliminating turf, it will drastically reduce water use. And in terms of cost estimates, I'll defer that to Arlington if he wants.
So obviously, there's a lot of varying costs. This will be a multi-year project. Everything won't. Oh, sure. Sorry about that. I know better than that. So it's a multi-year project. We'll start kind of how we did the paving, a little bit in each district, so that way my phone is not ringing off the hook, only a little bit. So we'll probably try to plan it that way. I'm also in the process of developing a long-term payment or cost stream that we can continue the maintenance. One of the things that was presented to me was Carson Street. I believe before I got here, that was a CIP project with the medians, and they didn't do the best that they could do as far as the plants and everything. So we want to eliminate that by having a I'm sorry, I've been up since midnight last night. So a funding stream in perpetuity for maintenance so that doesn't happen. I haven't figured out all the details yet, but I am working on it. Also, we're looking at a grant. The water, Gilbert, if I'm not mistaken, is looking at doing recycled water, reclaimed. So we're looking at that as well.
Outstanding. Any
Put your
time?
mic up.
I'm sorry. I'm about to start singing. But anyway, do we have an estimated? I'm loving it. I'm loving this. I'm loving it. But do we have an estimated time when this project will be complete?
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Complete?
Yeah.
Complete? No. I don't want to rush it, if that's all right. I want to make sure, and I'm saying I because I'll be issuing out, so it's not to dismiss my team. But I don't want to rush it. This is something that's going to be in perpetuity. And just like the paving, it's going to take a little time to do it right. We can do it fast, or we can do it right where everyone's happy.
That's what you.
These projects we're going to do right. So hopefully I answered your question.
No, I concur with that. It's just some people have already approached me as it relates to the time span involved in your great project. And I'm complete, Madam.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier that you're selecting plants based on being drought tolerant. Are these predominantly native species, or they're introduced, or what's that look like?
We do have a small selection of natives, and again, that information is in the plan itself. There's little icons that indicate whether they're California native or not. And so we essentially wanted to create something that was vibrant and still drought tolerant. And some of those, in terms of maintenance concerns, long term, natives have a difficult time for long term durability in median type settings. And so that was something that we considered too. We also wanted to consider what that would look like, not only for long-term durability, but also for um, basically making sure that we had a good selection of things that would not have to be replaced frequently in the median and an urban setting.
Thank you. And secondly, I just wanted to point out one thing that was mentioned earlier. My colleague asked about whether they're mature trees that will be placed in the medians. I know we already have trees currently, but the big deal with having trees next to streets would be the root systems. And I know you mentioned that earlier, but just can you talk about how that is planned so that it does not pose a problem down the line in terms of cracking of the pavement?
Well, part of that is the irrigation that we're also doing. So as Arlington was saying, we are leaving most of the mature trees that are healthy within the existing medians. If they need replacements or in areas where there's limited trees or maybe a problematic species, we'll be looking to replace those. But really for the root systems, it's the irrigation. And so a lot of, we did an irrigation inventory as part of this conceptual plan. And there's a lot of medians that unfortunately have broken or other maintenance issues with the irrigation. And so addressing that as part of those capital improvement plans will greatly deter any issues with the roots. And so really the roots come up to look for the water, and that'll be addressed with the irrigation.
So if you'll allow me to just add to that really quickly to address your overall point, as we've been going forward, another foundational implementation that has been put into practice is now that the maintenance team now operates in maintenance zones. So if you picture like the Golden Gate Bridge, they start on one side, they keep working till they get to the other side, and then they go back because it's continuous maintenance. Prior to my arrival, it was just taking work orders and shooting all over the place and all over the city, and it was like herding cats. So now we have a systematic way of approaching the maintenance. So I don't think the goal is that with this systematic and methodical approach that we will be able to see these things before they become a problem.
Thank you so much. That completes me.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I did want to say that the project looks pretty amazing. I like the variety of plants and trees. I did notice that date palms were on the list, and just wanted to note that sometimes the dates can attract pests, and the aesthetic of them are nice. They're amazing looking, but if there's anything that has the same aesthetic that may not attract date-eating pests.
Yeah, we specify that they're the non-fruiting variety, so that way we eliminate that issue.
That's amazing. I'm complete.
Commissioner Mfume?
I agree, they are really beautiful, but I was just wondering about safety. It attract people running across the street and maybe running and wanting to be in these wider medians. Have you considered, like, especially if you're near parks or
Get in the mic.
especially if you're near parks, any fencing or deterrent?
That is something that we brought up, and that's something that we can look at. I know a lot of times, especially when they're along school routes and things like that, that's something that's needed. So that's definitely something that can be addressed when it comes time to do the construction plans for the project.
Okay, thank you.
Complete?
Complete.
Yes. Commissioner Diaz.
Yeah, just to Mr. Arlington, again, the plan of action and the preventative maintenance is the terminology I would look at from one end to the other and then start over again. Standardized procedures in place. So that's the only way that will work and be in perpetuity. So thank you for that.
Okay, before I begin, anybody else? We're good. Thank you. My turn. Hi. Okay, I think it's great. That being said, as I'm looking at, and pictures are always beautiful, renderings are always beautiful. And so I try to see beyond that. First question, do you have anywhere in your plans, I see the boulders, which are very, they make a statement. Sculptures. Have we thought about sculptures?
Short answer to that is no. But if that's what the council would desire, then we would obviously have no problem with that.
Yeah, I've seen, you travel from city to city and all of that, and I find them to be very, very. In fact, we have one on Carson. We managed to get one on Carson when they were doing that project, and I think the sculptures make a great statement as well as the boulders. So just something, if you could add that to your list, I think it would go over really, really big.
Certainly, and to that point, my ask on that would be sculptures can be added.
They can.
So my point being is that I don't want to hold it up because there's
Oh, no, I'm not
maybe
asking
some
to hold
disagreement.
anything.
No. I mean with the council, because somebody wants a
Trust
certain
me,
sculpture.
when you get to the council, they will ask you if you
Understood.
have sculptures in the plan.
Understood.
All right. All right. Now, I'm preparing you.
We appreciate that.
So, my colleagues have all asked a lot of the questions that I had, so I appreciate that. But one of the major things that we have coming up, and I know timeline, we want to do it right. We don't want to do it quickly. However, as we look toward 2028, and you knew this question was coming, and when we look toward 2028, we want to make a statement then as well with the Olympics coming to Carson. And this just fits right in the plan. So from a timeline perspective, and maybe you haven't had an opportunity to do this, but as I think about it, we're looking at the major corridors. Obviously, you're looking at Avalon. Obviously, you're looking at Carson, exits off of the freeways where people will be coming into Carson. And we want them to know that they have hit another city other than LA, and it is Carson, and we want to make a real impression. So what are your thoughts about that?
My goal is to have something fantastic before 2028.
That's what I needed to
And
hear.
just to add to that, just so you all know, the next one of the next foundational implementations that we will be doing is a project-specific maintenance agreement with Caltrans, where we take over some of those areas that Caltrans does. And the city engineer and I have already had discussions on how we want to potentially rockscape some of those areas. So we're on the same page.
Awesome. Because when I look at the 91 freeway over near Stevenson Village, and Caltrans is in control of some of that area over there, hopefully that's on your list of areas to take control of. Because as the cars are coming into the city of Carson, obviously we've got the 91 freeway, we've got portions of the 710 freeway, we've got, well, you know what we've got. So again, I think we're there.
It will be some of that. It will be, we will take over the maintenance of the wayfinder signs for Caltrans. How that's going to work is Caltrans will supply the Public Works team with the signs. We will replace them when there's graffiti on them. Previously, that's not something that Caltrans did. So we put a lot of work in the background to get to this point and to lay down some foundations. So it's not just we're putting projects together to look good. We really want to make sure that everything that Public Works implements has a foundational foothold so that this can happen in perpetuity.
I also like the idea that the foliage that will result from and the blooming of everything, it's not everything blooming at the same time, but we have a continuous color scape that's happening throughout the year, whether it's annual or perennial. I'm guessing it's going to be annual plants as opposed to perennials, right? Or it,
So they bloom annually, but they are perennial plants, meaning they come back year after year.
okay.
So they won't need to be replaced if there are certain areas, perhaps in front of the Civic Center where maybe some seasonal annuals would be appropriate. That's something that can be addressed as part of the construction documents for the implementation of it.
Yeah, because that's truly important, and it helps with the maintenance as well. If you don't have to replant every year and having to go back there, but just a matter of maintaining what's already there. I absolutely love what you've done with it, and it sounds like we're on the same page. I'm sure we will be seeing you again because we are just getting ready to make Carson #1 on the map. So. I'm complete. Thank you so much. To the manager, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Thank you very much. We're going to move on with the agenda. I wanted to remind everyone and the public that October is National Planning Month. And I'm just taking this time to recognize the many valuable contributions made by the professional, community, and regional planning team from community development in the city of Carson. And I want to extend a heartfelt thanks to the Planning Commission for the work that you do and the continued commitment to public service of you professionals up there on the dais. And with that, Makina's going to do a presentation for projects that were considered by the Planning Commission over the last year. And right before she does that, I'm just going to give you guys a little appetizer. The Planning Department this year, we've produced 59 ADUs, 119 building permits were final, 1,121 overall permits were pulled. 746 planning applications were received from January to October. And there's over 2,000 applicants, customers helped at our public counter yearly. So we're actually getting busier. And so we're not afraid of the challenge. We just thank you for doing the work that you do. So congratulations and happy National Planning Month.
Thank you, Planning Manager Palmer. As promised a few months ago, you asked for it. Tonight you will view the video highlighting projects that were presented before the Planning Commission last year. And this is going to be an annual moment as created and established by our planning manager, Christopher Palmer. So with that, I'll start the video. And with that, I'm going to pause the video because where's the sound? Okay, one moment, please.
I think we need a 5-minute recess to get our video going. So 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Are there refreshments?
some of the audience to pretend you haven't heard anything. Give us a second. Well, I could narrate it, but we have some special guests who were voiceovers for this video, and I would hate to steal their thunder. You're We'll wait. Thank you. One thing with our beautiful new system, it turns out that these type of presentations have to come from what I call the pit. So they're working it out right now. Thank you for your patience. Absolutely. You're there.
Yeah, that's how
They showed on your screen.
So in the meantime, I'll repeat the numbers.
Take your time.
So we have a total of 59 accessory dwelling units approved. And so from January to March, we did 20. April to June, we did 25. July to
A
September,
year in review.
12. We did 2 the last couple months. Building permits that were final for industrial development, we did 72. Residential development, 37. Commercial, we have 10 for a total of 119. The overall permits, I won't bore you with the details of those because those are all the permits. But we did over 1,121 permits. That's inclusive of sign permits, demolition, solar, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, things like that.
It's on here.
And as far as planning department applications, we've received 746. And over 2,000 applicants or customers have been helped at our public counter to date for this year.
That's good. That's busy. Yes.
Couldn't have done it without my stellar staff.
I believe you. Yeah, because it used to take a good while. Very good. Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so it looks like we're ready for the presentation. Thank you.
Do I have to
A
reconvene?
year in review,
from recess?
showcasing the Planning Commission projects presented over the past year. Incorporated in 1968, Carson became a chartered city by vote in 2018. Carson has a population of approximately 96,000. Leaders are made. They say, "I'll do it." The Plan Commission held 12 meetings and dedicated 125 hours to enhance the community of Carson. In addition, the commissioners participated in training to enhance their understanding of zoning and land use laws and policies. Special thanks to Chris Palmer, Planning Manager, for arranging this opportunity. As we reflect on the past year, the Planning Commission has made significant strides in shaping our community's future. Sincere thanks to the Honorable Planning Commission led by Chairperson Thomas and Vice Chair Diaz. What would it be if we didn't have a little bit of technological, issues? However, moving on, we're going to just start it over so you can see the first 5 slides with the voiceover. And with that, thank you. We can get started. A year in review, showcasing the Planning Commission projects presented over the past year. Incorporated in 1968, Carson became a chartered city by vote in 2018. Carson has a population of approximately 96,000. Leaders are made. They say, "I'll do it." The Plan Commission held 12 meetings and dedicated 125 hours to enhance the community of Carson. In addition, the commissioners participated in training to enhance their understanding of zoning and land use laws and policies. Special thanks to Chris Palmer, Planning Manager, for arranging this opportunity. As we reflect on the past year, the Planning Commission has made significant strides in shaping our community's future. Sincere thanks to the Honorable Planning Commission led by Chairperson Thomas and Vice Chair Diaz.
The Planning Commission reviews and recommends legislative matters to the City Council for decision. The Planning Commission approved the general plan and Phase 1 of the zoning code update, which align land use goals and zoning regulations with the city's needs and future objectives. Economic development is a key component of planning. The Planning and Economic Development Commissions recommended approval of the city's Economic Development Strategic Plan, themed Where Creativity Comes to Live, Work, and Play. Here are the remaining projects for the one-year reflection.
There are 8 industrial projects in Carson. The existing industrial land uses approximately 4,296 acres within the city. 1210 to 1250 East 223rd Street. A new 181,013 square foot industrial building. 21210 Alameda Street, new truck tire sale and repair service shop within 100 feet of residential. 24760 Main Street, truck related activities within 100 feet of residential properties. (2601) South Main Street, new business park campus, 3 industrial buildings, estimated at 306,190 square feet, and 1 commercial building, estimated at 2,700 square feet. 23320 Alameda Street, new 200 megawatt battery energy storage system. 23300 Alameda Street, a modular control building and related improvements to an existing hydrogen production facility. 17126 South Broadway, new auto repair and collision facility with a paint spray booth within an existing building and site improvements.
Residential at a glance, 5 projects adding 399 housing units and 6 new residential lots. 21530 Martin Street, subdivide parcel into 4 parcels. 22511 South Figueroa Street, subdivide parcel into 2 parcels. 21531 West Carson Street, 34 units, townhome development. 336 East Carson Street, 50 unit townhome development. And Carson Triangle on Avalon with 32 affordable and 283 market rate units.
Commercial at a glance. 3 commercial projects were presented. The Commission approved 2 and denied approval for 1. 101 and 117 East Carson Street, a subdivision dividing a parcel into 2 parcels. 16300 Figueroa Street, a new animal clinic within a 7,638 square foot building and related site improvements. Projects receive approval. The Planning Commission will deny a project when zoning findings cannot be affirmed. Community consideration and use compatibility are essential factors.
I am troubled, number one. Anytime in any part of this city, I'm troubled when the applicant
A year in review showcase.
Anytime in any part of this city, I'm troubled when the applicants don't take the time to at least meet with the residents and let them know what they're planning to do so that they have the opportunity to give some feedback and some input possibly before we get to this point.
The proposed drive-through restaurant at 17625 South Central Avenue was not approved by the Planning Commission. 19 projects were presented last year. The Planning Commission plays a central role in the planning process. Here's Carson's Planning Division team and honorable team members.
No, thank you.
I'm troubled. I'm troubled right now.
have to acknowledge a few ladies within our division, Tori Freeman, Maria Gonzalez, and Sandy Solis. They were the other persons who narrated the video. So thank you. Again, thank you, ladies.
I'm still troubled. I have an issue. I didn't see Ben, not one picture of Ben anywhere up there. You must put him as part of the team. Okay? We have to have that addition. Yeah. To complete the film. Okay. Yes, Commissioner Guerra.
Will we be able to share this? Will it be provided on YouTube or something so that? Okay. The question is, will it be placed on YouTube where maybe we can share it as participants in Facebook and commissioners? I'm just kind of curious. A lot of people want to know all this good stuff. Yeah. She says I want to brag.
They have to come to the meetings.
No.
Our meetings are a special place.
So what is the availability?
Yeah.
When is the council going to see it? Will it be on the website for the city? What's the availability?
We can make it available on the website, but this was something that we did for our team here because this is planning month, and we're going to do this every October. So we'll make it available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and it does need to be shared with the council as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Available for the city. That is
When you did it last year, and I was not here, I was on the East Coast, but it went over very well with the council. So I think there's a lot of work that's being done by this department, and it needs to be shared.
absolutely.
So make sure you get on that calendar, and if you need any help with that, which I'm sure you won't, you can make that happen.
The council did request that the chair or vice chair come to a city council meeting and kind of share what's been going on. This video will be made available to you when we set the date to speak to the council.
That'll work.
Madam Chair, two
Yes.
things, please. If our manager, and we'll make sure we all know when that's going to happen, because we'd like to show up too. Thank you very much. And
Full team. You turn your mic off while you.
I second the motion that it should be made available for our city residents to also see. This is valuable information, especially the numbers, because we have had problems previously in getting our permits or whatever, and something that's going along like clockwork. It's okay to brag.
Well, when you're doing what you're doing, you don't have to brag. It speaks for itself. So that's where I'm with that. But I am,
They got to see it though, boss.
well, they need to see it. They need to see it. I am amazed at the number of people who come up to me and say, I watch you guys on Tuesday night. I'm like, really? And they say, yeah, we watch every Tuesday night. So this is, we need to check our ratings on that. We might be up for an award or something. I'm kidding. But thank you. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Very welcome, and this concludes my report.
Yes. Thank you. Add Ben to the, okay. All right. So with that, then we have our final remarks from our commissioners. Start to my right, Commissioner Johnson.
Happy to be here. Grateful to serve. Thank you for staff and manager presentation. Not missing any soccer games.
I was going to ask.
I'm complete.
Thank you, Commissioner Mfume.
This was very nice. I really enjoyed the video. It just threw me when Diane just appeared, and I'm like, I looked to see, oh, they just kind of put the camera on her. Then I say, okay, well, hair is different. So, but I guess we really don't realize how much work we really are putting in here. And you guys are awesome. This team You guys are an awesome team, professional. You take care of us. You and our city attorney, assistant city attorney. You're awesome. You're an awesome person, and I appreciate you.
Yes.
All of you, and all of you, commissioners. I'm complete.
Thank you, Commissioner Dr. Ossel.
Well, happy planning month. This is definitely a nice, that appreciate that presentation that you all created. It's a nice reminder to the work that we do, collectively as a team here for their city. And I completely agree that this absolutely needs to be shared. This is not an internal, document. It's not bragging if we're stating facts, right? And some of these facts and figures that were presented definitely needs to be out there, just to remind people about what where we've been, what we've done just this past year, and what is to come. So hats off to everybody involved, the team, the my fellow commissioners, and pulling for a brighter future. So thank you all, and more, more more to come. Right, that completes me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Huff.
Good evening again. I just want to say ditto to everybody's comments because this is such a, how can I say, such a blessing. It really is to be a part of this commission, but also to live in Carson. This is such a beautiful place, and we have all types of new enhancements going up and things to look forward to. I am just really happy about being here and being a part of all of these teams and us working so fabulously together. I thank you and I congratulate each and every one of you. And to Commissioner Johnson, I would say you're missing the basketball game, the James father-son duel. I'm complete.
You can respond to that later.
I'm all right with that one.
Commissioner Guerra.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm extremely pleased and honored to see the great work that your staff does, Manager Palmer. Your planners are excellent, dedicated, hardworking people. Our assistant city attorney is amazing. He keeps us on our toes and makes sure that we do the appropriate things. I just feel blessed that we have such a hardworking staff that's making the city of Carson amazing. And I'm complete, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair Diaz.
I couldn't put it any more succinctly or concise the way it was just presented. I think each and every night when we meet here, we have an opportunity to express our gratitude and admiration for the hard work that everybody does here in this great city. And also with the presentation that was initially for our eyes only, that looks like it's growing. But no, thank you. We're very appreciative of all the hard work that everybody puts in and recognizing what we do as part of the great city, the team. I think we're all in it to win and to make sure that the city continues to foster and grow. And I think all of the key people are here, at least to make us shine up here on the diocese. So thank you for preparing us for each of our meetings so that we can make those tough and right decisions, for giving us all the information. Thank you. I'm complete, Madam Chair.
Thank you, and all I have to say is ditto. This meeting is adjourned.